mama, ooh, mama. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Imaginary Boys. I am one of the two hosts, Mr. Habanero, and I have my secondary host, Mr. Sexy Wet Dripping Lettuce. How are you doing, Mr. Sexy Wet Dripping Lettuce?
Well, I sing a song.
Is it ma mama ooh mau mau, mama ooh mau mau?
No, but I will sing it for you.
You should. You should. Sing me a song, Lettuce.
And it was called Yellow.
Oh, God. Coldplay? Ugh. Ugh. You know how I know you're gay, Lettuce?
My penis in your mouth?
Well, I mean, yeah, but like, nah, but like... Anyways, moving on.
Yeah. I don't want to sound queer or nothing, but I'd really love to make love to you right now.
I think that was enhanced by the fact that you cut out on me. I know that people probably heard you just fine, but you cut out on my side, and that made it a hell of a lot funnier for me.
Your headphones are protecting you from the brutality.
They're like, oh, Mr. Pepper, he's sensitive boy. He's sensitive boy, must protect his sensitive little ears. That's what my headphones sound like when they speak sweet nothings into my little earballs. Oh my god! So we're recording on a different day because Mr. Lettuce was busy, and then I lost track of the week. I thought yesterday was today, and I almost forgot to even come on tonight. So I don't know what the hell I'm doing with my life.
Oh yeah, yesterday you're like, hey, so you ready to record? I'm laying in a bed 75 miles northwest of my recording equipment.
Oh man. I was like so mentally prepared yesterday. I was like, okay, I have to get all this done, and then I'll have like this amount of time for some gaming, and then after that gaming, I have to make sure I cut off at this exact time so that I could be totally prepared for Mr. Lettuce for when we do the podcast. And then I'm like, all right, let's go. And you're like, dude, nah. Nah, bro.
I'm like, you realize it's Wednesday, right?
I'm getting so bad. Like I have such a bad internal calendar. Internal calendar.
Especially if it doesn't get tested regularly. Oh, yeah. Mine gets all messed up.
Well, so here's how bad my internal calendar is, Lettuce. Do you know what happens 5 days from now? And I totally forgot this until somebody reminded me today. You know what happens 5 days from now?
You're at Flow Visits.
That's kind of hot, but no. It's okay if you don't know. I'm not going to feel bad or get upset if you don't know. Do you want to make one more guess?
It's your birthday?
It is my birthday. You're right. I bet you figured that out because I said I'm not going to feel bad, right?
Yeah. So you tried to Catholic aunt me into a guilt trip?
Yeah, a little bit.
I was like, it feels like it, but we're not married. I'm not forgetting an anniversary, am I? No, that's next month.
No. Yep, that's right. You're right, actually. You're right. Our anniversary is next month. That's awesome, man.
Yeah. So you forgot that it was your birthday. No. I get that way too. Like yeah. I never make a big deal out of my birthday.
I just forget.
Funny story, I was married for 2 years before my wife knew when my birthday was.
Nice. I'm so bad with birthdays. Like, it's funny because, like, people are, I remind people, I'm like, I'm really sorry, like, when I have to, like, write people's birthdays down, like, on my phone. And I also try to, like, reassure people, I'm just like, just to let you know, like, I'm just bad with birthdays. Let me explain to you how bad I am with birthdays. I'm so bad at remembering birthdays that I forget my own birthday. Like, I do. I forget my own birthday. And then I have, like, people who come in on Facebook and they're like, happy birthday! And I'm like, God damn it, is that what today is? Like...
Yeah, well, I try not to make a big joke of it. Actually,
Hmm.
I have in the past. People have asked me my birthday, and I will straight face tell them it's February 30th.
Yeah. Yeah.
They just, and maybe 2% of the people get it.
I'll be honest, I had to think about it for just a second. Like I was like, wait a minute.
Well,
And
the
I was
thing
like,
is
oh
like
yeah.
the thing is like it just in the form of conversation. That's my standard lie,
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
February 30th, and I paste it inside the conversation, so it sounds legit. And like maybe 2% of the people have ever gone and like, hey, that's not a real date. I was like, yeah, you're right. It's January 31st.
Come on, man. Bro, come on, man. Dude, you're just like 4chan for life, aren't you? Like every single moment of your life is always a good opportunity to try and troll somebody.
I mean, at least to my credit, January 31st is actually a real day. It's not my birthday, but they don't care.
Wait a minute. No, January 31st is not a real day.
Check go open up the calendar on your computer and
No,
check
no,
it.
no, 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 no.
January 30th. January has 31 days, my friend.
Stop it. Am I
Yeah,
stupid right
January.
now?
Yeah, you're being a dum dum.
Oh,
You're being a dum dum. Yeah, January has 31 days.
your first answer was the 30th, right? That was what your first answer was.
Of February.
Oh, God, my brain was still thinking February that whole time. Oh.
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 I was like, that can't be right. Like, I was like, wait a minute, that can't be right.
And that's what I do to people.
It's kind of
Like,
like the thing where you do the rapid questions
yeah,
and then you say like at the end like what do you put in a toaster? And then most people will answer toast. You know what I mean?
yeah. But when you
Okay.
want that toast extra toasty.
Mm. Like that super like just like extra crunchy and blackened like charcoal, delicious.
Yeah.
Charcoal flavor, so good, so tasty, so dozer.
Do you want brown toast or white toast? I'm sorry, but all toast is brown. You're thinking of bread.
I mean, I've put bread in a toaster and then put it on like level 1 and it comes out white. It's a little drier than normal, but it's still white.
Yeah, but that's not toast. That's just warm bread.
Yeah, it's warm, stalish, slightly almost crunchy bread. But it's warm.
Yeah.
It counts as being toasted. That counts as toast.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah,
If
it
you
does.
so if you bake some bread and cut it fresh out of the oven, is that toast?
No, because you didn't put it in a toaster.
Yeah, but it's the same effect.
No, it's not toast unless it comes out of a toaster. And if you put white bread in a toaster and you put it at level 1 and it comes out white, it's still toast because you put it in a toaster to toast it.
That's not toast. That's just warm bread. Now,
No,
granted,
it's toasted.
warm bread's awesome because it's the world's best butter delivery system.
It's kind of like when I go to a Subway and I ask them to toast my subs, it's not like they come out golden brown. The bread's still usually white. It's toasted though in their giant toaster.
Then they're fucking them up, man.
No, they're not. The whole point is just to warm the bread and melt the cheese.
Oh, see, I have them toasted. I have them toast the bread before they put stuff on it.
Oh, I always get mine so that like they put the meat and the cheese on it and then like they put it in the toaster and then it warms it up
Yeah,
and
but that's a
like
melt. Yeah, at that
yeah.
point, that's not toasted bread. That's a melt.
I mean, yeah, but that's what I like. It's kind of like when you go like and you order a panini. I haven't had a panini in such a long time. And they use those special panini grills, which cost a freaking fortune. And like, if you ever own a panini grill, you've always burnt your goddamn hand on it. Always burn your hand on the goddamn panini grill.
I just had a George Foreman.
I've never used a George Foreman grill before. Are they actually good?
I mean, you've used a panini grill.
So they're basically the same thing, basically.
Literally exactly the same thing. The George Foreman grill has ridges that the food's supposed to stand on, so the grease slides down and out.
Right.
So what the George Foreman grill does is it takes perfectly good meat and dries it out. It's like apparently it's like putting bread in a toaster on one for like 3 seconds.
Mm.
All it does is heat it up a little bit and dries it out.
Because because panini grills, they're weighted. So because for example, they purposely make it so that the top portion is like really really heavy, so that it really squishes the sandwich and like leaves those like the brown iron marks or whatever. You know what I mean? The lines.
Yeah,
And
but I mean the George Foreman grill's pretty much the same way.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just.
I also feel like that, panini grills are really dangerous too, though. They're like superheated anvils or something like that, like a superheated vice.
I mean, I guess
because they're so heavy, and like I've burnt myself on a panini grill before. I used to work in a I worked in a small cafe like long time ago, and they had a little panini grill, and I used to have to like do little paninis on it. And man, I burnt the shit out of my hand like multiple times on that stupid thing. It's so stupid.
Yeah, but the best thing to do at George Foreman was just grill hot dogs.
Oh, that seems like it would be worth your time. Like, because you don't want super greasy hot dogs. And plus, all the good juices stay on the inside, right?
I mean, I would never do that to a good hot dog.
What, on a George Foreman grill?
Yeah, we're talking about the quarter steamers.
Okay.
The hot dogs you get for like a dozen for a nickel.
Like a gas station, and they're like rolling around on those weird hot bars for like 48 hours straight.
Yeah, you could buy those hot dogs at Walmart for like a pack for like 50 cents.
Yeah, and then you eat like 2 of them, and then you're like on the toilet for like the next 4 days.
Yeah. I mean, the kind of hot dogs that are just bologna rolled up.
Yeah. Those are terrible. Good times, man. Good times. Have you ever seen them where like that they've been there for like at least 2 days because they're all like wrinkly and shriveled up and like depressing? You're like, bro, come on. You have to take that shit off someday and throw it away. Come on, man. What are you doing?
Somebody will buy it.
You're probably right, man. You're probably right. It makes me think of did you ever used to watch Futurama?
No.
Oh, there's like an episode where they go to like a gas station and Fry like is in the bathroom, and okay, so you know how sometimes gas station bathrooms they have the like the little, what is it, the little slot machine, like the coin machines that drop like condoms and tampons and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So there's an episode of Futurama where like there's one of those inside of a gas stop, a gas station bathroom, and Fry buys an egg salad sandwich out of one of those.
That sounds like good living right there. Egg salad is yummy.
I mean, egg salad is delicious, but like, would you buy an egg salad sandwich in a gas station bathroom, bro? Are you thinking super hard about this right now?
I mean, typically no.
Okay, all right.
But I'm not completely dismissing it on just off the face of it.
All right.
Like I could see situations where there's a bathroom machine, there's a bathroom vending machine, like the ones you find in Fallout.
Yeah, pulling out Nuka-Colas.
Like no, like you're in the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
And then as soon as you get out of the bathroom, like there's the wall vending machines. You open it up and there's like Salisbury steak.
Oh yeah, fancy lad cakes.
And fancy lad cakes and shit. Yeah.
like, I don't know, if I was hungry and all I had on me was a quarter and there was an egg salad sandwich
in a vending machine.
In a vending machine right next to the condoms.
Yeah, man.
I don't know. I think given certain situations, my curiosity might get the best of me.
You'd have to be damn hungry.
Or just suicidal.
You're just like, I think I'm going to end it right here in this gas station bathroom with this egg salad sandwich.
It's like I could either, buy a rifle.
Uh-huh.
Go through all the process of trying to buy a rifle.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Just so that I can redecorate my garage a la Kurt Cobain.
Grody, bro.
Or I could buy this gas station bathroom egg salad sandwich and just invert myself in a gas station toilet and go out like Elvis.
I just feel like that death due to a gas station bathroom egg salad sandwich would be so much more painful than just about any other death you could possibly think of, I feel like. Like, it just sounds absolutely miserable.
Yeah, but we're in a place. We're in a place where we're there. Uh-huh. I don't think at that point I'm any stranger to misery.
Yeah.
I'm just like, well, at least my colon will be clean.
I don't know about that, man. I mean, actually, you might be right.
I mean, the inversion you've made. You've basically shit yourself inside out.
Oh God!
Sunlight being the best disinfectant, your colon is clean, my friend.
Your colon is out of your body at that point.
Yeah, sunlight is the best disinfectant. And save this, and because you exploded in this bathroom and took out a wall.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
There you go, sunlight.
Oh my God. I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, I'm going to definitely put that on the list as one of the most creative ways to go out, for sure.
Bathroom egg salad sandwich. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
back-to-back poopy episodes, buddy.
Well, in Futurama, he gains superpowers from it. So, I mean, if I was going to get superpowers, maybe. Well, I mean, he doesn't. It's not.
I mean, you would definitely get a superpower. You'd have the power of flight.
The power of exploding your ass out like one time and then you're done.
Yeah, but I mean, if you angle it correctly, that's a pretty impressive super jump. Propel yourself with your small intestine. Yeet.
I can't believe I'm laughing this hard at a poop joke.
Happy birthday, my friend.
All right. All right, man. This is a good talk, man. I'm glad we did that. How did we even get here?
No clue.
I think we started with like George Foreman grill, right?
Yeah, we were talking about paninis.
I'm still laughing over that shit.
Because I was arguing with you that
oh my God,
putting bread in the toast long enough to get warm isn't toasting the bread.
It is toast. It's still toast.
Okay, I disagree, but I mean, there's nothing wrong with warm bread. Warm fresh bread is great. Is a great butter delivery system.
You're right. It is. You're right. I think you mentioned that before, but like you're definitely
Yeah,
you're
no,
right. You're right.
yeah, no, like
Oh God, my gut hurts.
some warm fresh sourdough.
Mm-hmm. Ooh.
And
Oh yeah.
just put like a big knob of butter on it.
Dude, toasting sourdough is so good, especially when it's like that really high quality, like bubbly sourdough. And then
Oh
you
yeah.
like when it comes out in like the circular loaf in
Mm-hmm.
slices, and then you like like you take a slice and you cut it in half, and then you like put it in the toaster and you do it just right to get to that golden brown color, and you're just like, oh, this is like the perfect toast.
You know what's really good to do with that sourdough bread?
What?
Make eggs in a hole.
Mm. Yeah, hobo toast. Hobo toast.
Yeah, make you some hobo toast with that shit.
Oh man, I will never forget the day that when I was like a really little kid and my best friend at that time taught me how to make hobo toast for the first time, and I'm like, this is literally life changing. This is You
Yeah,
literally have changed my life by teaching me how to do this.
like you just take like half a stick of butter, melt it,
Yeah.
throw the sourdough in there, flip it once, crack the egg in there,
Yep.
cook the egg, flip it once, just to kind of, because you don't want the runny whites, so you have to flip it to get to the other side of the whites.
Yeah.
You still want the yolk to stay kind of creamy.
I was about to ask you if you harden your yolk or if you keep it like wet.
I like it creamy. I don't like it like raw runny.
Right.
I like it to where it's cooked a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So it's creamy but not like completely hardened.
Mm-hmm. I'm more of a runny yolk guy. I love, like, my favorite thing ever is when you have like classic eggs and toast and like you do them either over easy or sunny side up, and there's still like the yolk is still raw but the rest of the egg is basically cooked, and then you just kind of like dip your toast, like your sourdough bread, in the wet yolk, and it's all like drippy and delicious.
That's good too. It's just I at the very least make sure that the whites around the yolk have cooked.
Right.
Because you got the loose whites,
Mm-hmm.
and then you've got the close whites.
Right.
The close whites, I mean, cooking them is just throw some water in the pan, cover it. What I do is I like to fry when I make eggs like that. I like to fry them in coconut oil.
Yeah, I use coconut oil a lot too.
And what I'll do is I'll use like the melted oil, and I'll actually baste over the top of the yolk, and that's how I get, and that's my way of getting to the cream, like the creamy consistency. Like it's still runny, but it's not like escape everywhere runny. It's kind of like a nice thick cream.
I getcha.
Almost the consistency of hollandaise.
Right. I was about to say kind of like more like a thick syrup, right?
Yeah.
I like to make sure that like my ideal yolk is just make sure that bread can absorb it. Like that's like or toast or whatever.
Yeah.
But I also like the idea when it is kind of like that creamy consistency like you're talking about. It's really nice because if you have like sausage or bacon, like if it's not too runny, you can like scoop it up with like the sausage and bacon.
Yeah,
and stuff like
with a nice piece of bacon. That's kind of why I've always just defaulted that way. Not that I always have the bacon; it's just what I do. It's just like that's what I do. That's my move.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel that, dude.
I scoop the bacon and then scrub the plate out clean with the bread.
Yeah, boy. Or like also sometimes if you have like pancakes too. Like that's a great yolk absorber.
Not a fan of pancakes.
I prefer waffles over pancakes, but I love. Yep.
Yes, no. Pancakes are shit tier. Waffles are god tier.
Yep. That's why I have a waffle iron, man. Yeah, I love me some delicious waffles, but like one of my favorite things to do was like if I ever me and my friends we would go out like we would go out and party all night. Like this was like years ago back when I was like still going to college. We'd go out, we'd party all night, we get wasted, and then it would be like 3 or 4 in the morning, and we'd all go out to Denny's. We'd all go to Denny's,
Yeah,
and
no, Denny's is legit.
yeah, when you're wasted and it's like 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
um,
No,
but
like I'm a big fan of Brenner.
okay, all right.
So Denny is one of those places where I can always get Brenner, that and
Yeah,
Cracker Barrel.
yeah.
But
I have never been to a Cracker Barrel before.
you're not missing much.
Okay. But yeah, what I would get is I don't even remember what it was called anymore, but it was just basically like I would get like 2 pancakes with like eggs, like over easy or sunny side up, whichever, like either was fine, and like sausage and bacon. And then I would basically like usually I think like actually either was fine, bacon or sausage, or sometimes a mixture. And then I would like take one pancake and like lay like the eggs on the top of the on the top of the bottom pancake, and then like slice open like the top of the yolk so that like all the yolk starts like dribbling out over, and then I would lay like the bacon and or sausage over the top of that, and then I would take the top pancake and put it on top and then squish it down so that all the yolk just oozes everywhere and it just gets in between the two of them. And then I would take my fork and knife and I would just go to town on that shit. So good.
So yeah, no, my favorite thing to do when I had I had a waffle iron, but one of the heating elements burned out on it. I just never replaced it.
Rest in peace, waffle iron.
Because well, I mean, yeah, whatever. My favorite waffle batter hack is muffin mixes.
Really? I've never heard of that.
Yeah, muffin mixes. You want like a blueberry, you want a really good blueberry waffle? Get like the blueberry muffin mix, and they have like a pancake hack, like pancake instructions. Sometimes some of them do.
Mm-hmm.
And then just kind of sort of follow-ish the pancake instructions instead of the muffin instructions.
Right.
And, there you go, some waffles.
I would make homemade buttermilk waffles from scratch. Like I wouldn't use any like pre-made batter or pre-made mixes. I would make it from scratch. And
I mean, it's just flour and salt and
it's pretty much like
oil.
Basically like a pancake mix, but with just a couple of extra steps, preferably like buttermilk added in and stuff like that.
Yeah,
that's about
yeah.
it. And you can simulate buttermilk by adding like lemon juice to milk, which is something that I would do sometimes. I would use like either like a heavy cream or a half and half or something like that, and that works out fine.
Well, you're a tryhard.
Yeah, I like my waffles fancy, man. I love me some fancy waffles. Fancy waffles are so good. Don't you like fancy waffles?
Yeah, you know how I get fancy waffles?
How do you get fancy waffles?
Gold label blueberry muffin mix.
All right, man. I mean, right off the bat, that would be good just simply because it would be like a blueberry waffle, which is super tasty.
Yeah, blueberry waffle, you get strawberry, you get apple cinnamon. You could get double chocolate.
I was about to say I would be down for some like chocolate chip waffles. Like
double, like the double chocolate muffin mix.
Yeah.
Yeah, that actually does. You know what else works really well in a waffle iron?
What?
Just gotta watch it and make sure you batch properly.
What?
Brownie mix.
Shut the bruh up. Are you for real?
Yeah. Don't like it's. You've got to be very diligent because brownie mix cakes over like 3 times faster than normal waffle batter.
Do you like really drench the brownie mix? Like, do you go overboard on drenching it?
No. Box instructions.
Damn.
You know how the best part of the brownies are the corner pieces?
Oh yeah, always.
So you get like a Belgian waffle iron,
Yeah.
and you put like a couple tablespoons in the middle of Belgian waffle iron.
Right.
It's a brownie that's all edges.
That's so genius. Oh my god. I don't know, like, I used to really like brownies, but I feel like I've kind of like edged off of them because there was a period of my life where I was eating them all the time. I used to work at a particular place that made them all the time, and there were always leftovers, so I always took leftover brownies home with me. And I got to a point where I was just like, no more brownies. Please, God, take these brownies away from me. But I will admit, it's been a while. It's been a while since I've had brownies, so I could probably do them again. But
it's been a while.
Are you good?
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Okay, it sounds like you cut out there for a sec. Sorry.
No. I just said it's been a while, and then I was just gonna.
Oh, I getcha. What song was that? It's been a while since I last something. Right, you recognize it from that?
Yeah. No, that's where I was going with that one.
Yeah, I literally sang that so perfectly that we might have to worry about a copyright claim after that. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah,
it's too perfect.
Yeah.
Who was that? Was that?
I believe that was Stained.
No. 3 Doors Down, right? Isn't it 3 Doors Down? Wait, was it 3 Doors Down? Since I could hold my head up high, it's been a while. Oh, wait, maybe you're right. Maybe it was Stained. That does sound like something Stained would do.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of want to like default like, no, that shit's just Nickelback.
dude, so many bands from that time period with that particular style sounded like Nickelback, man.
Like the post-alternative, like 90s alt-rock.
Yeah, it's like sort of grungy, but not quite, but mostly alternative, but not quite, and like angsty and like moody and broody.
Nobody knows how to pronounce a vowel. Bonus points if you sound like you're constipated to the point where if you shit, you're gonna jump 5 octaves.
Yeah, and you have to say yeah like 4 times, and no like 4 times.
Yeah. Yeah, no, no, yeah, no. That was my late 90s band right there.
Yeah, that was good times, man. That was a good time for music, man.
Yeah. I'm wondering if that guy from Creed finally shit.
Oh. He finally let it go. Let it go.
With eyes wide open.
He was groundhogging that bitch for 3 years, man.
If there was a period of music that was absolutely meme-tastic, it's the early 2000s.
Dude, definitely. I mean, I don't even really pay attention to music anymore. In fact, you and me were literally talking about that like just a little bit before we started the podcast. You were telling me that Pumpkins is getting ready to release a new album, and I was just like, damn, I don't really listen to music. I mean, I do, but I don't, you know?
Well, yeah, that was part of our first podcast discussion.
That's right, yeah.
And you intimated that, you used to be heavily into music, but then I pointed out, like, as you get older, you kind of like retreat away from it.
Yeah.
And you don't know what happened, but then you're like, oh, you're there. You don't care that much anymore.
Yeah, I'm kind of in this stage of my life where I'm primarily like a jazz snob. Like, I don't know, like...
Oh.
I know!
Oh.
Like, I know, I'm sorry. I literally, like, I understand, like, why you feel that way, and I do genuinely apologize, but I think at this point I'm a jazz snob, and I'm sorry. I apologize to everybody, especially Lettuce.
Jazz schmazz.
But like, dude, like, I there's this artist, okay, and I've been following his music for a while. Like this, jazz artist, and he like I originally just kind of stumbled upon him through listening to like the random amount of jazz that I've been listening to, and I was like, whoa, this guy's music is amazing. And then I found out
Mhm.
that a guy that I follow on Twitter follows that jazz artist. And so I started following him, and like I love like his Twitter feed. Like he primarily whenever he posts like on his Twitter feed, he's constantly working on music. And like the majority of the tweets that he sends out are samples of like new music he's working on, and I absolutely adore it. The jazz artist his name is Potsu. Potsu. And I like love his music. I absolutely love everything that man makes. And he's not very popular, but goddamn is his music amazing. I'm so obsessed with it. And every once in a while, like, because he's not like a super popular jazz artist, and like he's got a pretty good.
That's kind of redundant, my man.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, there's some popular jazz artists out there, kind of, sorta.
I mean, I guess that's a relative discussion.
I guess. I mean, there's popular jazz artists within the, jazz community. So there you go.
That's what I mean.
Um, but yeah, so he has like a decent following, but it's not humongous. And like every once in a while, it's kind of cool because he'll post something and like I'll leave a comment, like I'll leave a tweet. And like I'm like, oh, it's whatever. Like, I tweet at people that are big and popular all the time and nothing ever happens, and that's okay. And then he'll tweet me back and I'm like, oh, I love your music. Thank you. Thank you for acknowledging that I exist.
So what's his primary instrument? Is it the clarinet?
No, he plays everything. I'm dead serious. He plays so like there are times where you can hear him playing acoustic guitar. The really amazing stuff that he does is whenever you see him playing piano. He's an amazing pianist.
I bet he fingers minors perfectly.
I'm just gonna let that one go. Love you, Potsu. We don't hate you, and we know that you don't commit crimes. Everything's fine. I know you.
We're talking about scales and archipelagos.
Yeah, clearly.
Archipelago.
Isn't an archipelago like like a landmass?
Yeah, it's an island-based landmass.
He's playing those archipelagos, bro. He's that talented. He's that talented. He can go out to an archipelago and play it. He's that amazing.
Yep.
Oh my god. But yeah, I'm kind of a jazz snob now, and most of the music I listen to is jazz, which is like I'm sorry. I just like what happens to me a lot is I'll be working on something, right? I'll be playing a video game or I'll be working on a project. Like I've been doing like a lot of working in Photoshop for, by the way, this is a good chance for me to go ahead and tell people to go and buy Teespring merch, because I've been doing a lot of work in Photoshop and my Teespring merch is amazing. Go do it. Support the imaginary boys. Buy your merch now.
Yeah.
But anyways, so like I'll be working in Photoshop, working on designs, or like I'll be playing a game, or like I'll be like writing, or I've been reading a lot more lately. So when I'm doing that stuff, I need to concentrate on what I'm doing. And when I listen to music where people are singing, I can't concentrate on what I'm doing. So, but I still want to listen to music. So I've been listening to jazz because I can enjoy the music, but I don't have to listen to somebody singing, which would otherwise distract me. Because if I hear somebody singing, I'm going to start concentrating on their words, and that distracts me from whatever it is that I'm like, working on. So this is kind of where I've been at for music lately. So, I mean, do you ever find it like music to be distracting sometimes? Like when you're listening to like rock and, listening to like somebody singing or anything like that? Like,
Yeah, but I also have a selection of music that's pure instrumentals that doesn't involve an oboe.
I don't know. I'll be honest. I actually don't know how often any of the jazz music I listen to plays the oboe, but,
Or the clarinet.
all right, man. Like, I mean, it's all good. You are allowed to like whatever you like, sir, and I have no commentary on that.
Yeah, now I'm just going to pick on you for woodwinds.
Yeah, lick me.
Like you do for your reads right before you hammer a sweet recorder solo.
I have never been talented.
Oh.
I could probably just end that statement right there anyways. I have never been talented. Period.
That's not true.
Really? You think I'm talented, Lettuce?
Yeah, I've read some of your writing.
Oh, thank you.
I've borne witness to it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I appreciate that, man. I have a thing about writing essays.
You definitely have a talent for editing.
Oh, thank you.
Because Lord knows editing my bullshit's difficult.
I'll be honest. Out of the few people that I've worked with for editing, sound and stuff like that, you are probably the least difficult. Like, I mean, mind you, when it comes to sound editing, I've probably only like edited like 3 or 4 people total. And you are hands down, out of the people that I'm thinking of, the least problematic of editing.
Well, that's only because I've been in your shoes and I know what goes into it.
Oh, I appreciate that.
So
Hey,
I try to give you shit you could work with.
Oh, well, I want you to know that I appreciate everything you do to help me out and be a part of the podcast and
High quality microphone, good software to give you an audio stream that you can then work with.
Well, thank you. And honestly, like, I don't think like I could ever truly have like a better co-host at this point. You know what I mean? Like, I really appreciate all the effort you put into assisting me with this. And like I said, I mean, you were the one who even got me to start doing the podcast in the first place. Like, I was just kind of like spitballed the idea.
No, this was 100% your idea. You're like, I'd like to do a podcast. And I've been like, yeah, I kind of miss doing a podcast.
Yeah.
What did you have in mind? You're like, just 2 dudes talking. It's like, I could just do 2 dudes talking. That's fine.
But the thing is like, what I respect you for is you were the guy who you literally I'll never forget it because it was kind of like almost like this life-changing experience for me. You literally contacted me and you were like, all right, get on a call right now. We're doing this. And I was like, oh shit, this is real. Like,
Well, that's only because like for the past like a couple of months, like for like the month previous to that, you were talking about nonstop about how you wanted to do this,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, okay, so he really wants to do this. If the scheduling stuff doesn't seem too bad,
Yeah.
I mean, I could probably do it for him, and if this is something that you think would have helped your channel, I was like, screw it, I'll talk to him for an hour or 2 every night.
Yeah, man. Well, and also like another thing too is like I feel like also this has brought you and me together, man. Like, I mean, like you and me were always really friendly, like ever since like the early heydays of Mr. Hatcher, you and me were always pretty friendly. But like now that we're this far into it,
you're a big fan of titties, and I have titties.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. We can relate with that. Like, I like titties. You have titties. you like titties and have titties. So, I mean, technically, you've got one up on me there. So, I mean,
Yeah,
I'm impressed.
I don't have any mirrors in my house because that would be distracting.
Smart man. Smart man. You're thinking ahead. I like that. Um, but I feel like that, like this whole thing has really brought us together, and I really appreciate that because
Yeah, no, you're like you've practically become family at this point.
yeah,
I spend about as much time with you as I do with any other member of my family. That's I didn't ejaculate.
Yeah, you right, man. You right. Well, I mean, at this point, like I would say that you're probably hands down, you've become the person that I communicate with the most at this point, like legitimately. And like the thing is too is that our listeners probably don't realize that me and Lettuce also like communicate like almost every day. Like I mean, we don't always
No,
have a ton of things to say to each other every day, but like I mean, it's pretty normal for Lettuce to like contact me usually like right a little bit after I wake up in the morning, and he's like, "Hey man, like look at this thing that I'm doing or looking into or whatever." And like he'll send me music videos, or we'll just chat about random things like video games and stuff like that.
yeah.
So yeah, man.
Speaking of which, you had a out of body experience with a video game recently.
Did I? Oh God, yeah. Look at Mr. Lettuce trying to get me on track to the subject that we planned for the day.
Yeah, look at that. Like an hour in, I'm gonna segue into our planned discussion.
You know, I legit forgot.
You're a big cute dummy dumb.
I'm so dumb, you guys. I am so dumb. I've had mind like a sieve syndrome for this like last like week. Oh
Yeah,
my god.
it's adorable.
Yeah, so out of body experiences with games, man. You don't say. You don't say.
No, I did, but
All right. So yeah, so basically it popped into my news feed this last week, and I saw something that absolutely blew my mind. You guys, it blew my mind. There was basically some very talented like game designer or something released a I think it's like a 3 or 4 minute clip of him basically like he basically created a replication of a Japanese train station in the Unreal Engine 5. And when you're
you should probably splice some of that video in here. Like,
yeah, I can do that. No problem.
yeah, it's just
Hey.
because it is visually impressive.
Yeah, hey future me. Snap on that footage, okay? But yeah, people will see the footage, and it is the most mind-blowing shit I've ever seen because like I want to say like the first couple of minutes, you are absolutely convinced that it's just somebody with a high quality camera walking around a Japanese train station. Like it literally is it's so hard to like tell the difference between like that situation in real life and what was reproduced in the Unreal Engine 5. And like when I first watched it, the first couple of minutes I was convinced that it had to be like a spoof or there was some kind of cap or something. Like it didn't make any sense to me. I was like there's no way. There's no way that this is like an environment in Unreal Engine 5. And then what convinced me was there's one what I feel like is the one tip off that makes you realize that it is in fact made in Unreal Engine 5. When it turns dark, the lighting gets a little wonky. it's still very it's not the lighting from like the lamps, it's the flashlight lighting. The flashlight lighting has like a weird particle thing going on. And like when you see it, it's like the one tip off, in my opinion, that proves that it's a game. Like it's made in Unreal Engine 5 and it's not like somebody recording in real life.
Yeah.
But other than that, like if that one flashlight, like the user's flashlight didn't tip me off, I would have still been 100% totally, because like even the night sky, the dark environments, the shadows, the fluorescent lights, like everything about it is so unbelievably lifelike. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. Um and the first thing that came to my mind was, this is like going to be the future of alternate reality games. And oh my god, like we are only just a couple of years away from Sword Art Online, guys. Like that was like my thought process. Just snap me into the nerve gear. Let's go. I want to be flinging around goddamn fantasy swords in this alternate reality where everything seems so unbelievably lifelike. And like then I can give up on this world and live my happy life eating steaks in the Matrix. But I showed this to Lettuce, and first of all, he was as equally impressed by it as I was, but he also had more knowledge on it about it than I did.
Yeah,
And
because I've been seeing screens and trailers for Unreal 5 tech demos for the past 2 years.
Yeah. I've never
Like
seen anything like this before, though.
Well, that's because Unreal Engine 5 only really released quite recently,
Right.
to where the general public had access to it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Certain large game dev studios and stuff like that, they've had Unreal Engine 5, and Unreal debuted UE5.
Yeah. Yeah.
At the PlayStation 5 announcement trailer.
Oh, really?
Just to show what their engine could do on the next gen hardware.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Was it utilized much for that for the PlayStation 5?
Well, the reason why they did it on the PlayStation 5 announcement trailer was because of the two between the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X.
Yeah.
The PlayStation 5 is using a slightly more powerful GPU.
Okay. They've always kind of been a lot more like, what's the word? Technologically intense. Is that make sense?
Well, I mean, kinda. It's just a lot of the new tools in Unreal Engine 5 depend heavily on the ray tracing hardware APIs that are found in next gen graphics cards, that are found in computers, the 3000 series Nvidia stuff, the 6000 series Radeon graphics cards that are found in the PlayStation 5 and the Series X.
Mm-hmm.
Like that stuff is where like all that like the life graphics cards were capable of lifelike models and lifelike models and textures.
Right. Like, for example, like how we've been seeing a lot more, like, because like you were talking about Kingdom Hearts recently, and one of the things I had to say is that even though they still kind of have a sort of anime style to them, they've definitely got like those, really nice skin textures going, and like the hair looks like hair. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, in something like Unreal Engine 4, you could get like lifelike. You could get lifelike hair and stuff like that. The problem is the lighting and and shader
Right.
on your textured models didn't have lifelike calculations to them, so they still all came up either way too metallic-y or way too plasticky. And on a human face, you had the you sometimes had the uncanny valley issue.
Okay.
Because if you look, you would in certain angles you could probably make it look right, but but if you're like looking at one of their models dead in the eyes, like square in the face,
Yeah, it's not real, basically.
you hit the uncanny valley.
Right.
So with ray tracing and other hardware technologies that basically allows these 3D modelers to implement more lifelike lighting and shading.
Mm-hmm.
What you're getting is you're getting the same models, or with slightly better textures on them, but the lighting and shading makes the lighting and the shading and the reflections
Right.
makes a world of difference.
Mm-hmm.
Especially
like the little details that you don't think matter, like until you pay attention to them, right?
Yeah. So it's the lighting, the shadings, and the reflections, because it's one thing to light an object.
Mm-hmm.
It's another thing to have light bounce off that object correctly. And and reflections is actually one of the things that was missing from previous engines that Unreal Engine 5 now has. So you could have like a light source and it hits something, and the light goes off of that something and hits something else. And that's what creates a more lifelike visual. Is light is actually bouncing off of objects and affecting the other objects around it in a more correct manner.
Okay.
So instead of programming a reflection inside a puddle and it not looking correct, you just have a puddle of a liquid that might cause a reflection, that might pick up a reflection, and you let the physics and the math, the light physics and the math handle rendering the image instead of modeling a reflection into the image.
Right.
And that is where we get the more lifelike scenes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty impressive. Like, I mean, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, that it's inevitable that, our games and things like that and CGI in general would get to that point. But man, it's so much crazier when you actually see it. And you're just like, is this the future? Are we here? Like, you know what I mean?
Well, you remember this Final Fantasy Spirits Within?
What number is that one?
No, the first movie that they made. The first Final Fantasy movie.
Wasn't the first Final Fantasy movie Advent Children?
Nope.
Are you sure? I thought it was Advent Children.
No, it's Spirits Within.
I've never seen Spirits Within.
It came out in like 2000s.
Well, because I remember when Advent Children came out, because I begged my mother to buy it for me. I remember that.
Yeah, Advent Children was like 2010.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, no, in 2001 or 2002, Squaresoft made a movie called Final Fantasy Spirits Within.
Okay, I've never seen it. I don't know anything about it.
It used for at the time some pretty insane CG tech.
Sure.
And it gave you pretty good, like even by like contemporary. I mean, it was an amazing CG tech by contemporary standards, but even things that, you know, for like movies and video games, like 10 years, like 5-10 years past that,
Mm-hmm.
and they were giving you that, and what it was is, you know, when you are only having to concentrate on rendering a pre-scripted image,
Mm-hmm.
you could throw as much compute power at it, and you can get the kind of things like that, you know, people are getting now in games like ray tracing.
Right.
Like they were using a precursor lighting engine that eventually became ray tracing to do
Was it like
to get things like natural hair effects.
Was it one of those things where it's like they were pioneering it? Like they were like, well, we're basically like throwing a bunch of money at something that'll become the norm later. Like, because you, for
Yes.
example, like in the last episode, you and me were talking about VTubers and how it started out as this crazy experimental pioneering thing. And then, like, 5 years later, it's like the norm,
Well, yeah. Well, no, it's just more of a fact that they threw a lot of resources to do something that now, with the way technology is scaling, is achievable in a single device and not 12.
Yeah.
Because
the technology has progressed. It has progressed. Yeah.
Like Pixar, like they basically took a Pixar render farm and tried to process lifelike models through it.
Right. Sorry, I was just going to say it reminds me of how mind-blowing Toy Story was when it first came out.
Right. But yeah, so Unreal Engine 5 is it's got some nut things going for it. And the fact that Epic isn't very stingy about people using their engine.
I mean, they're getting fat paid, so I would expect it. Like, you know what I mean?
No, if you just use you could have access to their engine for free.
Well, I mean, isn't it like, if I remember correctly, because I swear that I watched, I can't remember who it was. I watched a small documentary that was basically talking about how, because it's, was it Epic? Is it Epic Games?
Yeah, Epic makes the Unreal Engine.
Yeah, so it was basically talking about how they make more money like renting out the Unreal Engine or something like that to like businesses like movie industries and game industries and stuff like that. And they're constantly trying to they're always trying to upgrade the Unreal Engine, make it better, make it more powerful, like new versions or just upgrades or whatever. And the whole point is because, like, sure, we know them for their games, but what's really pulling in all the money is people using the engine to create games and things like that. Yeah. So, I mean, I get the idea of like, they don't want to be stingy with it because they want people to use it. But I don't remember how it is that they make money from it. Is it like licensing or something?
Okay, so here's how they make money from it. Anybody can purchase, download the engine.
Right.
And the creation tool.
Right.
If you're going to sell a game based on that,
yeah, it's royalties, isn't it?
It's a royalty system. Yeah, it's basically a royalty system.
That makes sense.
And Unreal for indie developers or Epic for indie developers is actually pretty good about not taking royalties for a game that sells under so many copies.
Sure, I get that. That makes sense.
Like they only take royalty after like your first 1 million copies sold.
Right. Well, I mean, and the whole thing is that's just building a customer rapport, you know?
Well, I mean, it's how it's how every game is built on. It's how you get to a point where almost every game is built on the Unreal Engine.
Yeah.
I mean, and Unreal's probably going to be, it's going to be it. Like outside of a couple of studios being stubborn
Sure.
about using their crappy in-house engine.
Yep.
CD Projekt Red, who made Cyberpunk and the Witcher games.
Sure. Yep.
Have announced the next Witcher game is not going to be in their in-house Red engine. It's going to be in Unreal 5.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like after what I've seen, like I said, if you see that train station demo, like yes, like you know what I mean. It's like yeah,
Right.
yeah. You kind of like yeah.
Bethesda, who has been notorious about using their own about using the same engine that they've been using since Oblivion.
Yeah, Skyrim and Oblivion were built on the same engine, if I remember correctly, weren't they?
Skyrim, Oblivion, Fallout 3 and 4, and 76.
Oh, yeah. God, I always forget that game exists. And it's funny because you were literally talking to me about it yesterday.
Yeah.
And within the amount of time since yesterday, I immediately forgot that it existed.
Yeah. Space Skyrim?
Star Valley?
Starfield.
Another game that I can never remember the name of.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Space Skyrim. Gonna be in Unreal 5.
Space Rim jobs.
Yeah. Squaresoft.
Right. Are they switching over too?
Got into a lot of trouble trying to make their in-house Crystal engine work.
Okay, man.
Do you remember a game called Final Fantasy versus 13?
Versus 13. Oh yeah, that was like the shitty sequel to the shitty original game. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, it was the shitty offshoot because
of an already shitty game.
Yeah, because 13 got sequels.
Yeah.
The final part of that era of Final Fantasy 13 was versus 13.
Right.
Which its development took so long to get right that it became Final Fantasy 15.
Is Final Fantasy... Huh.
Yeah, versus 13 became Final Fantasy 15.
Wasn't Versus... Wait, so did Versus 13 exist as a game before 15 was released?
No. It started development as Versus 13, took 8 years, and then they were like, oh, we're canning this project and using most of it to build Final Fantasy 15.
So wait a minute, did 13 actually have a sequel?
Yeah, 13 had 2 sequels.
I played Final Fantasy 13, and I fell for their bullshit, which is, their bullshit is, oh, don't worry, after 20 hours of on-rail gameplay, it gets good.
Yeah.
I fell for that bullshit.
Yeah.
I played that game for like, I don't even remember how long, but it was definitely more than 20 hours. And after 20 hours or so, like after 20 hours, like maybe 25 or 30 hours or something like that, I was like, this game is shit. I'm done with it. I'm never playing this game again. This is the worst Final Fantasy game I've ever played.
And when you get to the open world part of it, you're like, oh, no, this is crap.
Yeah. I hate that game so much. I was so mad about it.
13 was terrible. Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah, I've never played that. You liked it, right?
Yeah, Kingdom Hearts 3 was incredibly terrible development cycle because it was being developed about the same time as 13 and Versus 13.
Okay.
It was stuck, and Square notoriously was. You have to use our in-house engine. after about 3 years of banging their head against the wall, to try to get the Crystal Engine to do what Kingdom Hearts needed to do,
Yeah.
They decided to go to Unreal 4.
Just like, we're tired of this shit.
So Kingdom Hearts was in Unreal 4.
Okay.
And Final Fantasy 16 will be in Unreal 5.
Right.
So that's, and probably moving forward, most CBE or CBU 1 games will be in will be a will be Unreal Engine games.
Okay, wait a minute. So Final Fantasy 15 is the No Homo Bro game, right?
Yeah, it's the boy band game. Yeah.
Okay. So what's 16? I don't know anything about 16. Is that like a game that's in development, or is it a game that's released and I just don't know that it exists, or what is that?
Final Fantasy 16 was a game that they announced 2 years and hadn't said shit about since.
Got it.
Typical,
Okay.
Typical Square shit.
Okay, so basically it's a game that doesn't exist right now. Got it.
They're supposed to have. If you hear Square tell about it, it's almost done.
But that was like 2 years ago, right?
Well, no, they said in a print interview earlier this year that it's almost done, and sometime this spring they'll show it. Well, spring is almost over.
Do we know anything about it? Like,
no, we don't know shit.
Other than it exists, that's all we know.
There was the announcement trailer, and it's been dark for the past 2 years.
Weird. Yeah, because because I was like, when you said 16, like that triggered in my head. I was like, I don't know what the hell that is. I didn't even know that was a thing that existed.
Yeah, no, Final Fantasy 16. It's being made by the same team that botched making Final Fantasy 14.
14 is the MMO, right?
Yeah.
They botched it? I thought, but like 14 is really popular right now, isn't it? It's actually a big deal, I think, right?
Yeah. 14, when it launched, had to shut down the game for 6 months while they fixed it.
I did hear that its original release was a bit rough, but it's been finely tuned.
After they took every one of their beta testers' advice and unlaunched the game.
Yeah.
Because I was on the 14 beta because I loved 11 so much. And
I didn't know you were an 11 player. That's cool.
Yeah, I played 11. Nice. I was on the 14 beta, and my feedback was, you realize this game has a release date in a week, right?
It was garbage.
I was like, there's no way this game's going to be ready in a week.
Yeah.
Bug report. Blah.
I think right now it's considered to be one of the most popular MMOs, though. Like as it is right now.
As it is right now, because you have everybody jumping off of WoW's dick.
Yeah, yeah.
And you you have Final Fantasy, because it has the Final Fantasy name.
Sure.
A dying World of Warcraft and all the other MMOs that World of Warcraft killed, and then you have Hello Kitty Island Adventure.
My body is so ready for. I'm ready for some Hello Kitty Island Adventure. I'm ready for it. They need to make a new version, like an optimized version, like Hello Kitty Island Adventure 2. My body is so unbelievably.
Just get the people. Just to get the people who made MapleStory to make it.
They make some popular game, like it's Nexon Wizit, right?
Yeah, no, these Korean MMOs, these Korean gacha MMO studios are prolific like that.
I think that one of the ones that they were doing that I played a tiny amount way back in the day, but I think it's actually gotten really big recently. It wasn't super popular when I first started playing it. But I think it's like a pretty big deal now, is Mab and Yagi, I think, which is like It's an MMO. It's a fantasy MMO, but I think that one's pretty big right now. I'm probably not going to go back to playing that, but and they have a few others too that I think are doing pretty well. So I mean,
so back to SquareSoft.
Sorry.
So part of the deal for Final Fantasy getting on PC,
yeah,
was that it was an Epic exclusive or an Epic Game Store exclusive.
We're talking about 14.
No, Kingdom Hearts. The entire Kingdom Hearts series got ported to PC last year.
Right. Okay.
And it was an Epic Game exclusive. And I know why it's an Epic Game exclusive.
Because of Unreal 4?
Because Squaresoft has basically a practically free license for the Unreal Engine now.
Wow. That's actually pretty but they don't need to pay future royalties? They probably still need to pay future royalties, right? Like, so if they do any more game design in the future, they still have to pay some kind of fee, right?
No. There's royalties, but that contract is pretty favorable for Square.
Well, I mean, it sounds like it. Yeah.
Like the royalty, the per game royalty after like the first million copies sold is like a quarter of what it normally would be.
Yeah. And that's really smart, though, that part of the deal is that it would be an exclusive on Epic for a period of time, which means that gets more money flowing into their
permanent. Kingdom Hearts is not going to Steam.
It's going to Nintendo, though, right? They still have because I mean, Kingdom Hearts has been was it Nintendo or was it Sony?
It was Sony, Kingdom Hearts. Well, I'm at PC as far as the PC goes.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah,
so they can still be on consoles and stuff like that.
Yeah, but as far as the PC marketplace goes, Epic Game Store is the only place that can have Kingdom Hearts, and I think they have. I think there might have been a rumor that it also includes time exclusive for all future releases.
Timed exclusive for future. So, in other words, on other systems?
No, for Final Fantasy 16. If it's on PC, it's a Epic Game Store exclusive for a year.
That's interesting. So basically, that's pretty smart, though. That's pretty smart.
Yeah, that's smart for Epic. But also, what's smart for Epic is now every game that every Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts game is being developed on the Unreal Engine.
Right. Yeah.
So that only helps proliferate the market share for their game dev engine.
Right.
Because the only other like large ones that are still around that aren't like in-house that aren't like in-house proprietary is like the Havoc engine. And and Havoc has lagged well behind Unreal. I don't know if Frostbite is in-house exclusive to EA. I think it is, but that's the only other one that I can think of at this point that's even remotely close to as big as Unreal at this point.
That's pretty interesting. Yeah, I mean, I say like for them, go for it. Like it sounds like they know exactly what they're doing. They've got it all well calculated out. And they know and obviously like their the Epic store, like their consumer base is just going to keep growing. Like that having, like
resentfully.
I mean, like it's good play. I mean, like, they're going to be drawing in the Kingdom Hearts fans. They're going to be drawing in Final Fantasy fans. And that's a pretty big deal because that's a lot of people. It's a lot of people.
Yeah. They've got a like Bethesda lost their launch. Well, Bethesda lost their launcher because they're a Microsoft product now.
Right.
Ubisoft lost their launcher. Is looking to lose their launcher and move everything to Epic.
I'm so glad. Like, I'm actually genuinely glad that we are now reducing the number of launchers, because that shit pissed me off. I was so angry that I had to, like, I hated it. I hated having like 4 or 5 different freaking game launchers to play one game.
The Bethesda launcher has been sunset.
Thank God.
It's because they're a Microsoft studio now, so it's all going to be Microsoft.
Yeah.
Ubisoft is probably going to end up sunsetting their launcher. Origin's sticking around. There's no way that's going away.
Is it Monopoly on Ubisoft?
Yes.
Yeah,
Monopoly's a Ubisoft game.
Sweet, I don't have to use their stupid launcher anymore. But then again, the last time I played Monopoly was with you.
Yeah.
Where you humiliated me. Yeah, you like Monopoly now, do you, Mr. Habanero? You like Monopoly now?
Bruh. Yo, couch.
Oh, man, that did break my soul a little bit.
Man, I did that to you, and you have a family.
Oh, God. Oh, God. I actually, a while ago, thought about playing Monopoly again by myself.
So you mentioned virtual reality.
Yes. I want to know.
The problem with virtual reality is the display technology on virtual reality has to catch up with it now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because
what you had seen in that train station demo was video rendered at 4K.
Right.
VR headsets aren't powerful enough to drive 4K yet.
So in other words, the technology has to catch up at this point.
Yeah, the headset technology has to catch up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're just now getting 1080.
Right.
Like, we're now getting effective 1080 in the headsets.
Mm-hmm.
And they're reducing the screen door and they have to reduce the screen door effect, because otherwise there's going to be so much problems with disorientation and vertigo.
Mm-hmm. We need the nerve gear. The world needs the nerve gear. That's what we need.
We need nano machines, son.
We need the goddamn nerve gear. Just plug it into my neck. I'll put the helmet on. You can cut me off from reality, and we'll all start playing a death game together. Let's go. I will be the next Kirito. Let's go.
We could have sex for real.
Oh man, God, I hope so.
Yeah.
I'll be cross-dressing in the nerve gear.
I'm legitimately surprised that VR sex hasn't taken off like it should have.
Wasn't that something that was being funded by like a porn industry or something? I thought that something involving the porn industry was like trying to really hard like push VR technology specifically so that we could finally get into sex simulations for virtual reality. I thought that was a thing.
I mean, it's a thing.
Yeah.
Like, you just basically you're doing the VR thing.
I know that there are virtual reality sex games. I swear I've seen them.
There is. It's
played
just
them, but
there is. The problem is like that's another thing. That's another haptic feedback thing.
Right.
That you have to program, but this time you're wearing it. This time you're wearing it on your cock.
Uh-huh. Yep.
So you got people. So you got people running around, so you got people running around their living room with the flashlight dangling off their groin.
I just got this image in my head of like a like vice with a fleshlight inside of it, like bolted to your like bolted to your goddamn dick.
Yeah,
Oh
no,
my
just
god.
like you go into someone's VR dungeon and they've got like 2 headsets and and the and what looks like a chastity belt.
Oh my god. It'll revolutionize VR chat forever.
Yeah.
You two can finally be Uganda Knuckles in the sex dungeon.
We will show you the way.
You know the way. You know the way.
We know the way to your pussy. This is what the metaverse got us.
Didn't they like dissolve it finally? I only just remembered. I think they're in the process of dissolving the metaverse, aren't they?
No. It's still a thing.
Ugh.
It's just people are like, help, I got raped in the metaverse. And I'm like, yep.
No.
Yep.
Is it like legitimate a thing? So like if I, for some reason, which I don't, if I had like a VR headset right now, could I log on to the metaverse? Is that like actually a thing now?
I think so, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, like you go into metaverse spaces and then somebody can walk up, push you over and apparently teabag you, which is
oh man. That makes me want to like go onto YouTube and see if there's any like ridiculous metaverse content yet, because I have not seen or heard of it at all. I want to know.
I miss PlayStation Home.
PlayStation. Oh, I think I remember that. Wasn't that was literally like a life simulator on PlayStation?
It was basically Second Life branded for PlayStation.
Yeah, I remember that shit. That was not good. That was not good.
No, it was horrible. But in the kind of a lovable camp way.
Yeah, it was like memey. It was very memey. I remember that.
It was.
Oh man, wow.
But yeah, so Unreal 5, it's the real deal. Like it's going to be one of those things that is going to allow game developers to use the stuff that like the high end advanced stuff.
Yeah.
That NVIDIA and AMD have put on the table.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because the problem with ray tracing before now was it was a lot of work to enable it in your games.
Right.
Because you had to build, because either you had to do it manually or you had to figure out how to have your engine interact with their API.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Unreal with Lumens, which is the part of the Unreal Engine that handles shaders and reflections.
It's basically built in, so you don't have to do the extra work, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's literally RTX easy mode.
That's awesome. I mean, I know I was really excited about virtual reality, but even just the thought that like the future of video games is going to be, looking like that and having that kind of power with not too much work put into it. Like, I mean, obviously there'll be work put into it, but it's not going to be this huge strenuous ordeal to set that up for a majority of the games that will be released with it. Like, that's so exciting.
You know how you love all those indie horror games and all their atmospheres and their kind of kludgy controls?
Yeah, I'm going to be living that life now.
Yeah, it's going to be so much easier to like generate to generate kind of like the atmosphere and the mood.
Yeah. God, I need to get back into horror games.
That maybe they'll be better. The horror games will be better.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely have a small collection of some very serious atmospheric horror games that I need to play. I've been falling behind, my friend.
It won't have to resort to FNAF level jump scares.
Yeah. Yeah.
And all of this from the indie developers that you love so much.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so high fidelity isn't going to be just something that you can only get from Ubisoft or Blizzard.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can get it from who's the guy who makes A Binding of Isaac? Why do I keep
have no idea.
McMullen? Yeah, McMullen. Yeah, a guy like McMullen just sitting in his basement.
Sure.
Can give you Binding of Isaac plus.
Yeah, where it's realer than real life and bloodier and nastier than real life.
Yeah.
The shit really looks like shit.
Yeah, that is the poopy is poopy.
Yep.
The tears look like tears.
Yeah. Now we just need to like have like the what is it? Have you ever seen those like the theaters that they have at like Universal where it's like a roller coaster but like not really a roller coaster and you're like watching a film and then they have like the little machine that like sprays out scents next to you or like dampens your neck when like an alien breathes on you or something like that?
Yeah.
Like now we just need that. That's all we need. We need that and then it'll be realer than real life.
The schnozberries taste like schnozberries.
Poopy.
Listen, I know that you like half-assed that, but that literally got me so good.
Well, I needed to grab you because
you had to
because I wanted you to feel it.
You did it, man. You did it. That actually made me stop looking at booby pictures on Twitter, so I appreciate that. Thank you.
I mean, you want to know how I know you're gay?
Because I look at booby pictures on Twitter.
No, because me saying poopy makes you stop looking at tits.
Listen, man, it takes a lot of work to draw my attention away from a nice, perky little booby, and that did it. That was it, man. That was the goat right there. You did it.
Well, I guess you're just outing your kinks now, Mr. Shizer.
You don't know me.
Confirmed. Ew.
We're practically ending this the way that we began it, aren't we?
The end is the beginning is the end.
Absolutely, man. All right, so are we trying to get this all wrapped up here? I mean, I
don't think we have much more to say about Unreal Engine except for it makes your pee-pee hard.
Yeah, like I was going to actually say that right before we properly wrapped it up, which is I legitimately, ever since I saw that video of that train station, I have been so hyped for the future of video games. Like I was like,
Yeah.
And even like, CGI in general, because I mean, Unreal Engine is being used in movie industry too. So, I mean,
yeah,
like we're going to see stuff like in movies where like, if you look at that train station video and that can be replicated in any film using CGI, it's like, you're never going to know when they're on or off set, like you never going to know when they're using, CGI or if it's real life anymore. It's going to be insane. Like, I'm pretty excited about it. Like, it's going to be cool.
But, yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. But anyways, we should wrap it up. This was a really good time. I really enjoyed this episode. We got to talk about a variety of things like poopy. What was that? All right, man. I'm just gonna move on. But anyways, first of all, wonderful shout out to the amazing viewers. Like, thank you for making it this far. We hope you've been enjoying it, and this was a really fun episode, and I feel like the most recent episodes have been a lot of fun to do. And so, thank you so much, listeners, for coming in and giving us a good old listen and enjoying the random ramblings of two silly men that don't really ever know what the hell they're doing at any given time whenever they press the record button. So we appreciate every single one of you. And the things that I love saying, which is if you enjoyed it, go ahead and hit that like button. Maybe leave a comment down below. Tell us what you're thinking about. If you're brand new here and you really enjoyed this, go ahead and smash that subscribe button. Maybe ring a ding the bell so you know when we're going to be doing wonderful things like this. And check in the description below for all the wonderful links such as PayPal, Streamlabs. All donations are super appreciated. They really help the channel out. Wonderful shout out to the amazing Patreon members, which include Bo Falcon, Fajuk Enterprises, James P, the lovely Miss Rebecca, as well as Scorpageist. You guys rock. Seriously. Thank you so much for the amazing, loving support. And also, I know that all of those people that I named off communicate with me on a regular basis. So it's really cool to have such awesome fans that are not only willing to financially support me, but also talk with me on a regular basis and, enjoy all the stuff that I do. And you guys are cool.
I find that sometimes the emotional support from the non-financially supporting fans is about as welcome as the financial ones. Not saying the financial supporters aren't important, but
no, they're all wonderful.
Like guys like Wrath of Wood and DLG.
Yeah, in fact, I was also gonna shout out like Zoo, because I know that Zoo is probably one of, like, it blows my mind how dedicated she is to our podcast. Like, it blows my freaking mind. She loves the podcast. So Zoo, you rock. I know that Rebecca has, like, the thing is too, is that, like, the supporters of the channel that are financial are also emotional supporters that just love listening to these. But I, like, even just like what Lettuce said, like Wrath of Wood and, all you guys are just absolutely spectacular people. And we really enjoy you guys, like, coming in and hang out with us. And it's wonderful. And me and Lettuce, we genuinely love doing this. And we love being able to produce really fun, silly content for, all the people that come in and listen to this. So thank you guys so much. All of you guys, whether you're financial or whether you're just coming here to have a really good time and listen to us be silly. It's all good. We really appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
And also Teespring.
Yeah. While we said that, the emotional support is pretty important, almost as important as the financial support, you should totally buy our merch.
Yeah,
Scrubs.
buy the merch. Buy it.
Buy our merch.
The Imaginary Boys merch. Go and get it. Go and get your sexy little hands on some sexy Imaginary Boys merch. Check out some of the other designs.
Get you a mug.
Yeah, the secret image mug. Get your hands on the secret image mug. It's a favorite of both of ours. We love that little mug.
It is my favorite sippy.
He actually, Lettuce actually owns that mug. He's got it. In fact, do you have the black one or the white one?
I have the black one.
Yeah, I think I took the black one off, so that was a limited release, and I think Lettuce is the only one that has the limited release of the black mug. So, but
nice.
The white one is there too. The white one is there too, and it looks great. So check out.
I'll send anybody that mug for like $300.
No, don't take any less than 1,000. Don't take any less than 1,000. Someday it's going to be worth a fortune. But yeah, so once again, thank you guys so much. And I think we've said all the wonderful things. So I'm going to say the last thing that we always do, which is...
I have a couple wonderful things to say.
The wonderful things that we say after all the wonderful things that we say, because they're so wonderful to say to all of the wonderful people that we say them to, which is, we have been the Imaginary Boys. Good night, everyone.
When you try your best, but you don't succeed. When you get what you want, but not what you need.
Do you know the way?
When you feel so tired tired.
Dude, you're
but
not
you can't sleep.
the song. You're not gonna sing it.